Everyone, welcome back, and in this episode we're gonna take care of dependency injection, and primarily what I want to achieve is getting rid of this Microsoft.extensions.dependency injection dependency on this project, right, from my shop.application. So the main thing is it resides in this service register. Now, to get rid of this iService collection, I will essentially have to place it where iService exists, and that is in the shop.ui. So let's go ahead and just move the service register here. I will delete the service register from here, and all of this stuff, let's go ahead and delete it. And yeah, that should be okay. So now that we have moved it, we can go ahead in here and get rid of this package. Let's build this. Okay, and everything seemed to build fine, so now we can work on adding all of our services into our dependency injection container. Now, the way I want to do it is to try and automate this process. So what I'm going to do is every service that I want to add to the dependency injection container, I want to mark it as a service. So what I will do is I will create an infrastructure folder in here. In here, in my infrastructure folder, I want to create a service.cs class. And all this class is going to be doing is it's going to be inheriting from attribute. And this will be it for this class. Let's clean it up a little bit. So service attribute, that's all we really need. And we can actually just maybe move it into the root folder. I don't think we need to hide it away in the infrastructure. So let's put it here. Now, what we will need to do is go ahead and mark every single service with this attribute tag. So let's go ahead and type in service attribute, or maybe don't need that. We can just type in service, and if I press F12, navigates me to this service attribute. Yep. So let's go ahead, copy this line, and I will paste it everywhere. Let's delete this space here. So all I'm doing, above every service, I just want to paste the service tag, and that's it. So let's paste it here, and add to cart, and add customer information. Cool. Next, orders. So create order and get order. Fish. Bosch. Get order. Orders admin. So same thing here. Just like that. Products. And get products. Product. Tick, tick, tick. Delete product. And create product. I'll remove this space up top. Okay. Stock admin. Everything here. Cool. Alright, so that should take care of most of our services, and create user. Let's tag it here, but I'm actually planning to remove it, so let's tag it anyway so we can grab it from our DI. So next thing, in our service register, let's go ahead and try to basically bring in all of our services and register them in dependency injection containers. So what I will need to do is essentially grab this assembly and load every exported type. And the exported types are going to be these class types, these nested class types, and I want to basically filter them down to the types that have been marked by the service attribute, and that's how I'm basically planning on getting all my services and adding those class types to the dependency injection container. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's first grab the assembly. So wherever this service resides, that's essentially going to be that assembly. So we can grab the service type equals type of service, and I will need to using shop application. And what I can do is then, rather, I will just do service type, assembly, and then I can grab the defined types. And these are going to be all the defined types here. And now from these defined types, what I want to do is I want to say where. So I'm gonna grab a link, and for every type, so this is type info. What I want to do is get type info. So this is a bit of a safeguard that will, if there's some information missing from this type info, this is definitely gonna grab it. So this is essentially a safeguard. So for every defined type in the assembly, I'm gonna grab the information for that type, and what I want to do is essentially get custom attribute. So this is where I've grabbed every single type in the assembly, and now I want to check if it has the attribute that I've specified. So get custom attribute, let's specify service as the attribute that I'm looking for, and we will need a condition here. So this, or let me put it back here, equals null, or rather doesn't equal null. So from this type needs an attribute. So if it doesn't have an attribute, this will return null. So wherever these defined types, wherever they have this custom attribute, that's what I want. So let's go ahead and drop this to a new line, and I want to grab these services. So now this is going to be a list of type infos, right? So it's just a list of types. And what I want to do is for each service and services, I want to go ahead, grab my container, and I want to add transient. And I don't want to use these types, but what I want to do is go ahead and just add the service to the container, and this is really all I need. Next thing I want to take care of is adding the what's called the interfaces that I have specified here. So let's go ahead. I think I had one in my startup already. So where was it? Yeah, iStock Manager. So let's cut it first, and let's put it somewhere here below. Let's do all the imports and the stock manager as well. Or hold up, I saw a bad namespace, shop.application.cart. Sure that belongs there. Stock manager is definitely in the database. So let's shop.database. And that's where the implementation resides. And let me double check that everything else has. I'm pretty sure I already did this, but somehow it slipped past me. All right, so never mind. Let's grab this from the database. I'll remove this import statement, and rather than services, let's add this. And now let's go ahead, copy this a few times, and I will need to add my where are these? Product manager and product manager, order manager, and stock manager. I got that. Session manager, that's going to be in here. I guess let's cut this and actually put this here as well. So at this, at scope session manager, let's grab this namespace and user manager. Now, this is something I thought about overnight, and to be honest, this is not something that we want to do in our domain, since essentially the reason why it doesn't belong here is because none of our models in the application layer actually know anything about the user. So the user is essentially not part of the shop kind of thing, okay? The user is more belongs to the UI layer, and that's what delegates access to the actual shop. So essentially, what I'm trying to say by this is that things that are related to creating users, we're going to go ahead and move that to the UI layer. Okay, so let's go ahead and actually just delete this interface. And for the service register, I'm going to go ahead and remove the second time I register stock manager, and everything else seems fine. So this should work. Let's go to our startup and services, add application services. That is okay with me. I'm going to remove that space. Let me close this. This seems to take up too much space. And yeah, I'm not even sure why I'm looking over there. It all seems to be in good shape. So let's go ahead and extract this user functionality. What I'm planning on doing is let's remove this. Let's remove this as well. And what I want to do is find wherever I reference this create user. And all I want to do is move the functionality from my user manager here. So whatever I'm doing here, I'm gonna move it to the controller that's doing this. So let's right click on create user and let's find all references. And this is primarily getting used in the shop.ui. So let's click on one of these guys. It's going to be in user controller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab user manager, cut it. I'm going to paste it here in the constructor. And I'm going to do the same thing. Let's just remove this to indicate that I have implemented that part. And let's import all of this stuff. Let's make a global thing out of this. Tick, 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 tick. Make a global field. Make it read-only. Let's grab the user manager. Alright, let's actually, do we need this request? So what we can do is, yeah, I think we'll use view model. Do we use view models here at all? We don't, we only use the request bits. So what we're gonna do is actually use a view model for this, since it's only gonna belong to the UI layer. But for now, let's go ahead and extract this functionality from here. So I'll grab this, I'll paste this here, and maybe let's actually just say string username and string password here. And the claim, let's import the claim. Pretty sure this should be okay, unless we are using this model in the view, which I'm pretty sure we are. So, but never mind that. Let's go ahead, delete the user manager, and let's delete the user admin folder. Okay, and I'm gonna close the service, and let's actually create a view model for this. So let's create a view models folder, and let's create a create user view model.cs. And to specify that this is something for the admin panel operation, we can say /admin and move the view model into there, and then we can say admin shop.ui.viewmodels and .viewmodels.admin. Okay, and in here, let's go ahead and say string username and create a password as well. We can set them both to required. Okay, and the password for now is not required because I don't think we're using it, since I've just added it in the previous episode. So let's go to admin, and that would be in configure users. So it's going to be in configure users view model. Yeah, and this is what it's doing. So we're just inputting the username, and then, okay, so we'll have to go into www JS admin and users. Okay, so we're only setting username. I guess this is fine. Okay, that's fine. I'm cool with that. We can put the password there if we want. Let's remove all of these for consistencies. I'm going to close the www root folder. The program should work as intended. Let's go ahead and say from body. Let's close all of this stuff as well. Let's say we want this type. So we're grabbing create user view model from body, and let's just say VM and VM dot username and VM dot password. But we don't really provide a password, so I'm just gonna set it to password again, so just so we don't get errors. Remove this space here. Okay. Let's close all of this. Let's try to build it, see what happens. Okay, so everything builds. Let's double check that it all still works. Fire it up, and if we don't get any dependency injection errors, we good. Okay, so let's grab a t-shirt. I'm gonna add one to cart. Good. Add. Alright, let's buy some more. The default one, let's grab 3. Let's try to checkout. Submit. Okay, pay. Bit of a delay there. We don't reset the cart. Let's check if the order has been created. Oh, and damn. Well, database. Too many databases. And orders. View data. It should be today. And that's pretty cool that I don't track any dates for my orders. Okay, so I will never be able to know when it's created. Okay, I guess we can see the 3 product name 2 in what's it called? Order stock, I guess. That would be placed quantity 3 10011. I guess that will be the order ID 203. The latest one, yeah, so it placed an order. It just didn't clear the cart, so let's go ahead and see what happens. If we actually do clear the cart once we place an order. If not, then that's not a thing. I would be going into pages, into where we place the payment, into payment.cshtml, and then we create order. So let's see what we do in here. If order, created order, remove stock from hold. Okay, but we never clear the cart. I don't think we even have the functionality to clear the cart. Let's check in our infrastructure, iSession Manager. And yeah, we don't. So let's go ahead and actually add something for that. So let's go ahead and say void clear cart, and session ID will be in there. So let's go into where will it be? It will be in the UI layer because that's where sessions live. And we will need to implement a new interface. Should be somewhere here. Clear cart. Let's put it at the bottom. Minimize that. Okay, let me put this get ID right at the top because I feel like that's where it should belong really. Okay, so clear cart, what do we need to do? We need to take session and clear, removes all entries from the current session. No, we want to remove, and we want to remove a key. So these cart thingies, let's go ahead and cut one. And what I want to do is create some private keys. So let's create private const string cart key, or rather let's just say cart, and we'll say cart. And let's replace these with what's it called? With these constants. Okay, wherever we say cart, let's put cart here, and let's put cart here as well. And let's do the same for customer information. So let's grab this, put it here, customer info, and I guess we can do something like cart, or rather key cart, and key customer info, and let's put it here. And this was at product, should be cart or key cart. Get cart, get customer information. So customer info, I want to replace with key customer info. I didn't miss it anywhere else. Nope. Get cart. So what happened here? And get string key cart. Okay. And I think that should be it. So now what I want to do is when I do my payment CS.html, I want to go ahead and clear the cart. So I want to probably inject my session into here and clear it that way. So let's go ahead and put it into, so this is going to be a beefy function. So from services iSession manager, or did we even need an interface? I think we want the iSession manager, because if we want to replace this functionality, and this is essentially part of the cart, so we want to essentially, what we want to achieve is if we get rid of the sessions, when we start putting our functionality into the database, we know that all communication with the session happens through the session manager. So if we start moving the functionality in the session manager to the database, we will know that we have this clear functionality to implement. All right, so we don't want to access state here through HTTP context session. We don't want to clear the session here, because otherwise, if we start migrating, we might forget to clear it. Okay, so let's build that, and refresh. Let's go buy some more. I'm gonna get myself one of these guys. Grab a few more. Grab like 6. So postcode. I'll change the postcode a bit. Okay, let's pay. Oh, I need a few more. Let's double check that my order is here. So view data, and let's refresh this. Okay, in 303, there is my order, new one, because the postcode should be a, yep. Okay, nice. So that pretty much concludes it. Our services are now injected, and we have one less dependency. So the next episode will be about removing data annotations, right? And if you think about it, it's data. This is the root validation. This is how you do validation in .NET Core, right? And look at how integrated this is, right? So think about it. If you have your application and you're using the .NET Core validation and you have all these attributes sprinkled on there, you're gonna have a bad time if you want to migrate, right? So you either want to roll your own validation thing, or you want to use Fluent validation, which is what we're gonna do. But for now, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure to comment if you have any questions or suggestions. And as always, see you in my other episodes.